Let's just get right into it. Life isn't fair. It never has been. And you know who understood this better than anyone like 500 years ago? Niccolo Machiavelli. He saw life for what it is, a silent, strategic battlefield. He watched kings rise and fall, and he figured out why some people seem to control the world while everyone else just gets crushed by it. So today, we're going to unlock his timeless rules for our modern world.
And that's a tough pill to swallow, isn't it? But on this battlefield, the good, loyal, and honest people, they often get walked all over. I mean, think about it. You know that coworker who smiles to your face but then takes credit for your work? Or that friend who secretly resents your success? They're all playing the game. And if you don't even know the rules, you're not a player. You're a pawn. So that's the real question, right? Are you playing or are you being played? Think of this explainer as your strategic map. It's all about learning to see the moves before they happen, to control the board instead of just getting pushed around on it. And the very first step, the absolute foundation of all power, doesn't start by looking out there. It starts by looking in here. And that brings us to our first pillar, mastering your inner fortress. The logic here is incredibly simple, but it's also profound. You have absolutely no hope of controlling the chaos of the world around you if you can't even control the chaos inside yourself.
So, how do you actually build this fortress? Well, it really boils down to 3 core disciplines. First up, you have to be unreadable. Never, ever show all your cards. The second people know your real strengths and weaknesses, you've just handed them a roadmap to beat you. Second, you've got to master your emotions. When you react emotionally, you're literally giving someone else the keys to manipulate you. And third, wield your silence. Seriously, silence is a weapon. It makes other people uncomfortable, and it forces them to fill that silence by revealing their own hand, while you reveal absolutely nothing.
And that's the whole idea right there. Emotional discipline isn't about being passive. It's a strategic weapon. Think about it. The person who stays calm in the middle of a storm, the one who's completely unfazed by insults or chaos, they hold the ultimate advantage. They see the whole board clearly, while everyone else is just drowning in their own knee-jerk reactions.
Okay, so let's move on to our second pillar, controlling the narrative. Once you've mastered your inner world, the next battlefield is the outer world. It's all about managing how people perceive you. Because your perception isn't just a reflection of who you are, it's your armor, and it's your main weapon.
Now this is where it gets really interesting. This is the art of disguise. Powerful people are masters at wearing the right mask for the right occasion. They might seem harmless, but underneath, they're wildly ambitious. They act all agreeable while they're secretly planning their next move. They want you to think they're predictable, so you never ever see their real strength until it's way too late for you to do anything about it. You have to understand this. In the game of power, perception is reality. Your reputation is the story that precedes you. It determines if people see you as a threat, an ally, or just an afterthought. And once that story is damaged, you lose your leverage, because people will always believe the story, not the truth. So how do you protect this priceless asset? You guard it like a fortress. You stay out of pointless drama that just makes you look small. You never fight small battles. You pick your fights with surgical precision. You make sure your wins are visible, and you develop the strength to let stupid rumors just die on their own. This leads to a really powerful, kind of counterintuitive strategy. See, when you're always around, always available, you become common. People just take you for granted. But power grows in scarcity. By strategically pulling back, by disappearing for a bit, you create a vacuum. People start to wonder, they start to talk, and they begin to value your presence way more. A little mystery makes the world lean in. All right, now we're gonna flip the script. We're moving from defense to offense with our final pillar, playing the board. This is where your inner control and your carefully managed perception get weaponized. It's all about taking decisive, strategic action to shape the outcomes you want and to neutralize your rivals. The first rule of offense, create dependency. And listen, forget about being liked. That's a trap. Focus on being needed. If people can replace you, they'll never truly respect you. But if they can't function without you, without your skill, your knowledge, your connections, well, then their loyalty isn't a choice anymore. It's a necessity. And that is the only kind of loyalty you can actually count on. You know, power is not patient. It doesn't reward people who just wait for their turn. The world rewards calculated dominance and decisive action. That person who got the promotion, the one who closed the deal, the one who outshined you, they didn't hesitate. They saw an opening and they took it.
Because hesitation, that's a concession. When you hesitate, you're allowing someone else to define the narrative and set the terms of the fight. But when you strike first, at just the right moment, you set the rules. Everyone else is forced to react to your move. You become the author of the story, and the hesitant ones, they just become characters in it. This brings us to another hard truth about power. That minor enemy you tolerate today, that small problem you ignore, that can become the very rival who destroys you tomorrow. You just can't afford to be sentimental when a threat is growing. Powerful people don't wait for problems to get bigger. They stamp them out while they're still small and weak. I mean, this line just says it all, doesn't it? The rulers who survived throughout history, they weren't the kindest ones. They were the most vigilant. Showing mercy to a rival who is actively trying to undermine you isn't noble. It's self-destructive. You have to be decisive and remove threats before they become unstoppable. So, after all of this, all these rules, these strategies, you have to ask, what's it all for? What's the end game? And that brings us to the ultimate question of power: legacy. It's not about the short-term wins or the loud victories. It's about building something that lasts. Think about it. Most people live loud and are forgotten quickly. They chase attention, they fight these small battles that just vanish the second they're gone. But real power, it's different. It's the business you build, the reputation you carve out, the influence you establish that keeps working for you even when you're not there. It's the echo that remains long after you've stopped speaking. So, I'll just leave you with this one question. If you were gone tomorrow, would your work, your influence, your strategy, would it all continue to shape the world around you, or would you just vanish? That right there is the ultimate test of power. Because the game doesn't end when you leave the board. It ends and your moves no longer have an impact.